Good afternoon, class. Today I'll be reviewing Chapter 11 entitled Nutrition, Physical Activity, and Fitness. So, what is fitness? Fitness is the body's ability to meet physical demands. It's composed of four main components: flexibility, strength, muscle, and cardiovascular endurance. And what is strength? Strength is the ability of muscles to work against resistance. Connective tissues strengthen, becoming more energy efficient when dealing with physical exercise. And strong muscles, tendons, and ligaments prevent injury during certain physical activities. Flexibility aids in broader range of motion, tendon elasticity via stretching, lengthening muscles that have become tight and tense. And fun fact, it's a great idea to stretch both before and after workouts. Muscle endurance and cardiovascular endurance important. The ability of a muscle to keep working for long periods of time is endurance, and the ability of the cardiovascular system to sustain effort over a period of time is cardiovascular endurance. And the American College of Sports Medicine recommends aerobic activities be completed 5 times weekly for around 30 to 60 minutes. And just some activities, it's not limited to, but including cycling, running, swimming, jogging, things like that. And how physical conditioning plays a key role. A planned program of physical activity is recommended to keep your body in some sort of routine. And physical conditioning improves function of a particular body system. Physical overload is defined as forcing the body to do more than its usual limit of physical activity. So going above and beyond in a workout per se, or some athletes say they're maxing out their weight. This means they're doing some sort of physical overload that they wouldn't normally be doing. And then, why is it essential for a healthy lifestyle? Evidence suggests that our bodies need regular, moderate physical activity that gets our hearts beating and forces our muscles to work harder than they usually do to stay healthy. Optimal nutrition and regular physical activity contributes to a person's ability to properly and efficiently use and store nutrients. The fact of the matter is, on average, About 33% of adults in the US engage in regular physical activity of any endurance level. On average, only 38% of adults engage in zero physical activity at all. And according to the physical activity guidelines for Americans, they report health benefits occur with at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity physical activity. And below is a chart that people can use for reference and um, how to complete their physical activity goals throughout the week. When increasing aerobic activity, it is suggested that in order to remain healthy, one should try and do 5 hours a week of moderate intensity or 150 minutes of vigorous activity, which will lead to additional health benefits over time. Additional health benefits include lower risk of cancer, unhealthy weight gain, heart disease, hypertension, and as well as blood pressure or high blood pressure levels and other risk factors. According to a study done by Dennis Burkert of the Ottawa Citizen, entitled "A Lack of Exercise Called as Great a Risk as Smoking." It was stated in this study that lack of exercise is the fourth major risk factor for heart disease and stroke. And in quote unquote, and an active couch potato has 1.9 times higher risk of developing blood vessel disease. It is shown that low intensity exercise like walking and dancing can prevent diseases such as heart disease, and physical education programs sometimes offer little real use towards physical exercise or adequate levels of physical exercise needed to be healthy. Carbohydrates, they're essential for exercise and high endurance activity, and muscles burn fat and energy released from carbs. Anaerobic versus aerobic metabolism. Muscle exertion is so great that it strips major oxygen supply when people are doing high intensity exercise or workouts. And the two types of anaerobic metabolism are the ATP CP creatine system and glycolysis. And the ATP CP system provides immediate energy from compounds released in the muscle cells. And glycolysis is defined as a pathway for glucose breakdown used for ATP formation. What is the training effect in aerobic exercise? It affects on the cardiovascular system due to regular exercise by definition, and improvements made to lungs, heart, and increased blood volume are a result of the training effect. And it's achieved by reaching target heart rate. And the target heart rate is the heartbeat rate fast enough to push but not to strain the heart and the body. Physical fitness, fat, and glycogen usage. When active, the body uses glucose from storage in the liver. A trained athlete uses less compared to an average person, and the amount of fat burned comes from all over the body. Athletic and exercise training improve fat delivery to working muscles. The effect of diet on physical endurance. A high-carb diet increases athletic endurance. A diet of fat and protein allows for lowest endurance levels. And a normal mixed diet allows for average endurance levels. So a mix of fat and carbs and protein. And a carb-loading diet, as some call it, provides highest endurance levels for high-intensity athletes and trainers. According to my second study, conducted by the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition and the Department of Epidemiology in Germany, they concluded that whole grain bread and wild vegetables associated with lower risk of disease. Low fat, dairy, butter, and red meat are associated with higher risk of disease. Healthy diet was characterized by both of these findings, and further investigation of health benefits linked with coffee and cakes are needed. Do athletes need more protein? 5 to 10% of energy endurance trainers' needs come from muscle protein. Hormone changes affect the amount of protein made temporarily. Protein contributes only 5% when glycogen storage is optimal, and consistent training and optimal nutrient intake enhances muscle protein. Athletic protein usage for fuel depends on 4 main things: intensity, duration, athlete's fitness level, and glycogen storage in athlete's muscles. Some fun facts: the American College of Sports Medicine recommends consuming 1.2 to 1.4 grams of protein. Muscles don't respond to excess protein automatically, and hormone regulation controls the growth and energy demand of said muscles. So you can't just eat and expect it to work automatically. Hormones regulate it, and so in short, muscles grow based on the physical demand that one's putting on them. Fluids and physical activity. Plasma transports heat through skin, thus expelled via sweating. Excess loss of water is when the plasma volume decreases. Ignoring body fluid needs increase the risk of heat-related injuries such as dehydration, heat stroke, and heat exhaustion. They're the most common. And what's the big deal? Water and sodium should be monitored to avoid hyponatremia. Sports drinks do help to maintain blood volume levels better than water in certain instances. And drinks should contain between 4 to 8% of carbs per volume. And for weight loss, water is the better alternative than a sports drink. How well fuels are burned is determined by vitamins and minerals. Muscle protein formation and food to body energy is hindered. And B vitamins, iron, and calcium are key for athletes. And sports anemia, stress, fracture, and the lack of menstruation in women can occur. And some sample meals for high carb intakes are listed here. Example for breakfast, lunch, and post-workout meal. And some helpful wellness and nutrition information sites.